Welcome to Mystic Pinnacle. Ever wondered how your morning cup of joe comes into existence? It's far more than just a simple brew, my friends. The journey of coffee from bean to cup is a story filled with intrigue, labor, and a fair bit of magic. You see, it all begins in the lush, verdant landscapes where coffee cherries are meticulously hand-picked. But the journey doesn't stop there. The beans nestled within these cherries undergo a series of transformations, each more fascinating than the last. They're processed, dried, and then roasted to perfection, unlocking a symphony of flavors hidden within. But we're not done yet. These roasted beans are then ground down and brewed, culminating in the heavenly aroma and taste that greets you each morning. It's a complex ballet of steps, each equally important in crafting that perfect cup of coffee. So, are you ready to embark on this journey with us? Stay tuned as we dive deep into each of these steps, revealing the magic behind your favorite beverage. Did you know that your coffee starts its journey as a cherry-like fruit on a coffee plant? Yes, you heard right. That robust cup of coffee you enjoy each morning begins its life as a humble fruit. Now, let's delve into the initial stage of coffee production, picking coffee cherries and extracting the beans. Picture this: a coffee farm filled with trees laden with ripe red cherries. These cherries are hand-picked by skilled workers who have an eye for selecting the perfectly ripe cherries. Why, you ask? Well, the ripeness of the cherry significantly affects the quality of the coffee. A ripe cherry ensures a sweet and full-bodied cup of coffee, while an unripe one can lead to a flat and lifeless brew. But wait a minute, did you think that the coffee cherry is the coffee bean? If you did, I'm afraid you've been bean-boozled. The coffee beans are actually the seeds inside these cherries. Each cherry typically contains 2 seeds, or as we like to call them, coffee beans. Now let's talk about the 2 main types of coffee beans, Arabica and Robusta. Arabica, the more delicate of the two, is known for its smooth, subtly acidic taste, and is often associated with gourmet coffee. On the other hand, Robusta, true to its name, is a robust bean with a stronger, more bitter taste and a higher caffeine content. Fun fact: if you're a fan of espresso, you're likely sipping on a blend that includes Robusta beans. So to recap, your morning cup of coffee starts its journey on a coffee farm, where ripe cherries are hand-picked. The beans are then extracted from these cherries, ready to be transformed into the coffee we know and love. Whether it's Arabica or Robusta, each bean has its own unique flavor profile, contributing to the diverse world of coffee. Next, we'll see how these beans are transformed into the brown coffee beans we're familiar with. This is where the magic happens, folks, but for that, stay tuned. Now, how do we get from green coffee beans to the brown ones we know and love? Well, it all begins with processing. Once the coffee cherries are harvested, they need to be processed immediately to prevent spoilage. There are 2 main methods of processing: dry and wet. In the dry method, the cherries are spread out in the sun to dry. It's a bit like sunbathing, but for coffee cherries. They are turned throughout the day to ensure they dry evenly. This process could take up to 4 weeks. Yes, you heard me right, 4 weeks of sunbathing. The wet method, on the other hand, involves removing the pulp from the coffee cherry so that just the bean is left. The beans are then fermented in water for up to 2 days. Think of it as a 2-day spa treatment for the beans. After this, they are rinsed and dried in the sun, much like in the dry method. After the beans have been processed, they are sorted and prepared for roasting. This is where the magic happens. Roasting transforms the green beans into the brown beans we're familiar with, bringing out their flavor. The process involves heating the beans at high temperatures and then quickly cooling them to stop the process at the perfect moment. It's a bit like baking, but with much stricter timing. The beans can be roasted to different levels from light to dark, each giving a unique flavor profile. Light roasts have a more acidic, grainy taste, while medium roasts are more balanced in flavor. Dark roasts, on the other hand, have a richer, bolder flavor. It's like picking your favorite superhero. Each has its own traits, but all are fantastic in their own ways. But we're not quite ready to brew just yet. There's one more step before that. Here's scene script. Ever noticed how coffee smells even better when it's freshly ground? There's a reason for that. The magic begins when you grind your coffee beans just before brewing. This is the moment when the oils, flavors, and aromas locked inside the beans are released, ready to infuse your brew with that irresistible coffee essence. Each coffee bean holds a universe of taste, and grinding is the key that unlocks it. Now, the grind size isn't a one-size-fits-all affair. It's an art, a science, and a bit of personal preference. The grind size and consistency can dramatically alter the taste of your coffee. starting with a coarse grind, which looks somewhat like sea salt. This grind is perfect for brewing methods like the French press or percolator, where the coffee grounds are steeped in hot water. Because of the larger particle size, the water extracts the flavors more slowly, resulting in a bold and full-bodied brew. Next, we have a medium grind, similar in texture to coarse sand. It's the jack of all grinds, suitable for various brewing methods, including drip machines and pour-over cones. This grind gives a balanced extraction, resulting in a smooth and flavorful cup. The fine grind, not unlike table salt in consistency, is the go-to choice for espresso machines. The fine particles allow for a quick and intense extraction, perfect for the rich and concentrated taste of espresso. And finally, we have the ultra-fine or Turkish grind, which is as fine as flour. It's used in traditional Turkish coffee pots, where the coffee is boiled rather than brewed. Now on to brewing. It's not just about pouring hot water over coffee grounds. The brewing method, whether it be drip, French press, or espresso, can highlight different characteristics of the coffee. Some methods emphasize the body and richness, others bring out the acidity and aroma. It's all about finding a method that suits your coffee preference. And there you have it, the journey of a coffee bean from a plant to your cup. Now, isn't that a story to tell over your next cup of coffee?